food shortage reports, and why we need to prepare for the worst. Let's discuss. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back, my 36,600 subscribers. Thank you all for being part of the adventure. Tonight, we are drinking Dunkin' for our coffee rant with Dano tonight. This is Frank, the Bald Eagle. It's going to be a lengthy discussion, so if you have to hit pause to get your coffee or whatever beverage you deem necessary for this discussion, it's going to be a big one, guys. We got a lot of things to talk about. First thing I want to mention is everything going on around the world right now. We need to pay attention. We need to pay attention. We need to prepare. We need to prepare for the worst. Whether that happens or not is irrelevant. We need to prepare for the possibility of it getting very bad. I've said before it's going to be a long winter. That was before some of the events that have happened out near the Middle East and things that are going on out there. And the more and more we are involved in these things, the more and more, sadly, prices are going to be going up on things. They're not just going to be going up. They're going to be skyrocketing, maybe to new levels that we have not seen. Now, if anything, over the last couple years, it's, the grocery stores have prepared us to be able to shop smart, I guess you could say, because prices have gone up on virtually everything. Some prices have doubled within just the past year. Now, on the channel here, if you're new to the channel, we cover a lot of different prices in the grocery stores. We go to any and all stores to try and help save you money in any way we can. We buy up the sales as we see them so that we ultimately save money in the future. Also, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe down below. We do these videos every day to try and help everybody we can. It's been a lot of people on the channel have been wanting me to talk about some of this stuff. Some things I will leave out. I will not talk about everything. All I will talk about is the situation going on in the Middle East and all around the world. We have events unfolding. I feel like this entire year has been a whirlwind of events that has caused a lot of heartache on people. I mean, during these times, and when we're talking about different lives and things, I don't like to mention, grocery prices and stuff like that, which that's what we cover on the channel here, so that's what we will follow through with. But I want to just say, our thoughts and prayers are with everybody involved, all of the lives lost and everything like this. It's a horrible mess. It's horrible. I mean, it's one thing after the other, guys. We were talking, about a month ago, I was saying that it's going to be a long winter. Again, this was before all this other stuff happened. Now I think it's going to be a very long, hard winter. It's going to be tough. Depending on who's in your family, or, I know some people that, I don't know if they're going over there yet, but my thoughts and prayers are with all the family and friends that are involved in the military and everything going on. That at a moment's notice, things could happen to where we could very easily get very involved in these things, if we're not already. I feel like the train derailments, things could be going on right as we are talking right now. Speaking of train derailments, here in Cincinnati, Ohio, they're talking about selling off the train yard, our Cincinnati Railways, to Norfolk Southern. I don't necessarily agree with that. Lots of things going on, and I don't really know what to think about that. I know it'll give our city a good amount of money, but at what cost? This is the same group that East Palestine and these events, they kind of just shrugged off their shoulders until it was brought out into the wide open for people to discuss. I don't really know what to think about that. All I know, what we need to do is we need to prepare. And we always talk about being prepared on the channel here. And what do I mean by that? We need to make sure that we're prepared for a situation, for any kind of situation. Whether it's weather, a disaster, something, I don't want to, I was trying to think of how I was going to do this video. I've been wanting to talk about some of these things for quite some time, and I don't really know how to talk about them without it sounding absolutely terrible or terrifying. And I don't want people to go out there and panic buy and stuff like that. I think we never encourage panic buying on the channel here, even though we do talk urgency, because urgency means that you're not going and panic buying, but you are buying things smart, as in the means of what you can do and what you can have, right? Or what you know. And again, me even saying that, this is America. Do what you want. Do what you want. And for those outside the country, I say the same for you as well. You know, you want to stock up on things to make sure that you have food security, because Lord knows food security has kind of gone out the door over the last couple years. It's come down to what can you afford and what can you save, what can you put in your stockpile to make sure in case events like this that are happening around the world, what can you do? What can you do? I know, as I always say, everybody can't afford to put aside things. Some people live day to day, some people live week to week. It's a hard life. It really is. It is hard to make these kind of decisions, especially when you're making a daily decision. Sometimes I feel like people who are forced to make a daily decision make the best decisions. I don't know. It's kind of weird for me to kind of talk about some of these things, because I never really thought that on the channel here I would be discussing some of this stuff. We knew this was an issue back a few years ago when everything was going on with the pandemic and all this other stuff. I thought, how can we help? Well, with food prices and everything going up, we'll travel the stores on a daily basis and try to help as many people as we can save as much money as we can. It has gotten to the point where prices on things have we can't even go into Big Lots to save money anymore. Now, I'm continue my journey as we do, and I have to kind of like turn the cheek, right? Because what my opinion is on these things are mostly, outside of me and Jess, are irrelevant. What it is we gather in information as much as we can on things that people are looking for, because we're not just dealing with high prices. We're dealing with shortages. And this thing, if this thing goes worse than what it is already in the Middle East and abroad, then we could be expecting even more serious food shortages. Now, I know people are going to comment and say, well, what do we really get from these parts of the world? Everything is a domino effect, right? Anytime there's something going on, anytime we are in conflict with others, prices are going to go up. You could assure gas, surprisingly, gas has been pretty cheap. I feel like this is the deep breath before the plunge. Gas is going to be going back up, especially if things go awry. Like I said, I didn't really know how to bring across this video. It's a lot of things that I'm uncomfortable talking about. And, feel free to comment whatever you like. Just please keep it, no cursing, And again, I try to say this with words of encouragement and not words of fear. Because we can't fear these things. We have to overcome them. We talk about, like I said before, we talk about preparation on the channel. There is no better time to prepare than now. You will have people that say on the channel here, if you're just now stocking up on things, it's too late. It's never too late. Now is the time, though. If you have the opportunity to be able to put aside something, try to have like a month's worth of food, right? Preferably try to get through winter, because it's about to start getting cold, depending on where you live. And when you add cold in with a devastating event, it just makes matters worse. Other things are going up in price as well. We get comments every day from different things that I don't really talk too much about on the channel. Some people were saying like cotton, that we have a shortage of cotton. Okay, that's socks and shirts and stuff like that. It's hard for me to see that going into like Walmart and all these other stores and seeing all these different shirts and everything. One thing to see, though, are the prices. If there's a shortage of these things, usually what happens, and I have to assume that it's like food, that they'll come back, but you may pay the price. You may almost be paying double. For instance, okay, I got this shirt at Meijer. Got this shirt at Meijer, and it was 2 for $50. This was 2 years ago. Two of them for $50, or two of them for $40. This same shirt right now was $42.99. $42.99. The same one. The same shirt. For one. So things are going up in price. I was looking around trying to find some nice new collared shirts for these coffee rants and everything. And I just had to go to Walmart. Walmart has similar ones. Maybe not as loose. I like these like golf. Like they're breathable, so if it gets hot or whatever. Anyway. Like I said, wasn't sure how I was going to talk about these things today. Make sure you let us know down in the comments your thoughts of everything going on. Like I said, we don't want to create any kind of panic buying, anything like that. I know some people, I try to get as good of information out here as possible so that you do think about it. Things are changing. The world is changing. Whether it's for the good, whether it's for the bad, either way, it's changing, and we have to make sure that we're able to sustain, to make it. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know which way this event and everything that's going on is going to unfold, but it doesn't look good. It could get ugly very quickly. And if it does, we want to make sure that we're ready. Not just physically, but mentally as well. That Dunkin' coffee is good, I gotta say. Couple food shortages that we can go into here for just a minute. Did I mention that? So we got some people out on the East Coast that have been chiming in lately. We had a guy from Boston who was talking about a lot of different items that were missing in some stores. We keep getting comments from Aldi. I guess paper products at Aldi. Haven't had that. I will be visiting Aldi here shortly, so we'll see what it looks like at ours. A guy from Pennsylvania was talking about not being able to find some paper products as well, and we had another different viewer from Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania, who was talking about paper products as well, not being able to find them. So it's kind of centralized in the same area. That's why I always talk about, like when we talk about things, either abbreviate or just put what city and state you're in, because your neighbor may be seeing the same issue, might be able to help you, you might be able to help them. That's the purpose of the channel. That's the purpose of building the community on here. 36,600 and something subscribers, guys. We are all part of this journey together. We are all part of this thing called life, right? And I gotta say, I really appreciate all of your kind comments and everything. I know with some of the things going on, it can be disheartening. Especially when you add things onto what you're already doing that is already costing a fortune, right? People joke around, they say, well, I got to take a loan out to get groceries and stuff, I mean, it's expensive. It really is. Some people have questioned why I go to Kroger so much. Well, Kroger is a store that we can compare. Okay, we can compare all around the country. Kroger owns a lot of different stores. Out west, they own Food for Less, King Soopers. North, they own Dillon's, Mariano's. South, they own some other stores. They own a lot of stores. Fred Meyer, Harris Teeter, all these other stores they own. So it's one that we can compare grocery style. Okay, I call it grocery style because they're all part of the same type of deals. Kroger carries that buy 5 or more, save $1 each deal. They have the buy 3, save $2 each deal. They have digital coupons that are surprisingly a lot easier than other digital coupons, from what I'm being told. And it's just a learning curve with Kroger. Once you start learning the digital coupons, you can really learn how they save you money. But these are the things. I always say Kroger is the most expensive store to shop at where you can save the most money. The reason why I say that's because no other store does the kind of sales that Kroger does. You look at a can of chicken and you're like, wow, that's $5.99. You're ready to leave. Well, then you see, 20 digital coupons that are a third of the price of some of these things. And you're like, well, that's cheaper than Walmart. See what I'm saying? So it's like when you look at these things, and I'm in and out of the stores every day, so I guess it's easy for me to say, but if you watch the videos every day, if you watch us, if you tune in, you will see yourself eventually some of these things in ways that we're able to save money. Now, the hardest thing for me lately has been comparing prices with different things with regular prices, because regular prices have kind of held still as to where sale prices are now. At one point, we may not see sales anymore. We're even seeing stores do that, say sale, and it's the regular price. I mean, I don't really even know how to explain that. Like it's really weird. It used to just be Kroger, but now we're seeing it at Walmart. I've seen it at Aldi, seen it at Meijer, some other stores. Now today, let me give you a little preview of what's going on tomorrow. So tomorrow morning, I did go to Kroger today. There are some good sales, some decent sales, right? Some stuff cheaper than the regular price anyway. A lot of stuff you guys have been asking about, so make sure that video will be out at 8:30 in the morning Eastern time. We go over a lot of different deals. Tomorrow, I shop at Kroger with a purpose to focus on things that we're going to ultimately be saving as we go along. I also talk a little bit in the video about how we kind of got slapped in the face, right? Last year, right before Thanksgiving, all these prices started going up on these Thanksgiving products. I was infuriated. I was like, how can I even talk about this? I almost said talk good. There was no talking good. I was titling videos, frustrating day at Kroger, because I knew what kind of information I was going to have to deliver. Like, this is a nightmare. I'm here to show all the different sales that you have, because we're a week away from Thanksgiving, and half these products have gone up in price. As to which they've gone up a lot more since then. But surprisingly, I don't want to ruin everything, but surprisingly, we found some okay deals at Kroger. Maybe they're listening. Maybe they're listening to some of this stuff. Maybe they've raised the price on something else so that they could lower some of this price. I didn't say that in the video, but that is exactly what I thought. I was like, what did you have to raise here in the store for this price to get this cheap? And when I say this cheap, I mean what the regular price was last year before they rose right before Thanksgiving. Quick note too, if you're watching this video and you are heading out to Kroger, make sure you check the powdered sugar, as it is down to the same price as what it was last year at $1.79 right before they raised it up to $1.99 right before Thanksgiving. Now the same thing is $2.49. So that is one little bit I will give you. A little bit of preview. If you're going to Kroger tonight, pick you up some of they even had the dark brown sugar. That's hard to find. You can find the light brown everywhere. But they had all of them for $1.79. Regular price $2.49. I was like, good. Some exciting news. Been getting a lot of comments on different powdered sugars. And I know some people have been talking about how to do your own powdered sugar, use molasses, stuff like that. Sure, yeah, that's awesome. Probably save doing that anyway. But, just point it out there, $1.79 a bag, that's a good deal. So guys, yes, we do have some events unfolding that I do believe are going to cause prices to go up. But again, not trying to take away from things that are going on that are just terrible news, right? And I say that because it's like, I'm talking about things that are just terrible that are going on, the conflict, right? And then I feel selfish kind of talking about grocery prices, right? Because this over here is what matters, and lives are at stake. But we have to focus. I have to try and focus on what we do on the channel here and still talk about how these events could cause events in the stores to skyrocket beyond belief. It's gonna get ugly, guys. It's gonna get ugly. There's no sugar coating that. Okay, I mean, I know I always try to be the optimistic person to make things, as light as possible. Try to make the situation as less grim as I can. But there's no real way to not say this. And I feel like I just have to let you guys know, because this is something important. I don't know how many of you are paying attention to some of what's going on with the news, on the news, and Lord knows I try to not, what I believe is, I have friends and family who are in and out of the military. So, I try to keep up on a lot of things that are going on any way I can, trying to find any real news that I can, which is hard to do these days. But anyway, guys, let's see. Sorry, I've lost focus of things. I was gonna read a couple articles, and I was like, you know what? No, we're just gonna talk about these things. I don't want to read anything that tomorrow we find out it's not true, right? The one day, well, eggs are bad for you, and then tomorrow, nope, 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 you gotta eat your eggs. And I feel like that's the way a lot of the media is. So it's like, this is just one on one with me and you talking about these things. Um, we're gonna go on. We're gonna go and go as we go into the stores, check things out, anything that is good to prepare on for any kind of situation, not just food. Like I said, we're going into winter. If you need socks, you might want to buy socks before they go up in price. They already have. I felt silly the other day when I was at Costco and I was like, I mentioned in the video, I was like, a 3-pack of briefs, boxers, was $14.99. And I'm like, my goodness, did I just say that with a smile? I mean, I guess I was just kind of following, it's with the prices today, that's unheard of for what it was a year or two ago. 3 boxers for $14.99. They sell 6 packs of boxers at Walmart for like $25. That is huge. That is huge. So yes, we need to focus on some things outside of food. We will be checking out things, if the disaster hits, guys, if it gets worse than what it is, I mean, I will be busting out the fishing gear and we will be doing videos on the lake fishing and building fires. I don't know, guys. I don't want, like I said, I will make it sound like that yet, but I mean, just to give you the idea of how we need to be prepared. Might not be a bad idea to buy a fishing pole if you don't have one. Just set it aside. That way you got it. If ever, knock on wood, food flies off the shelves or we run into us. The thing, I guess, that kind of gets me is, I remember a couple years ago, I went into Kroger looking for 10 items. Now, these were regular items. Sugar, stuff like that. Just random things, but it's stuff that is always on the shelves, and I did not find one item. And I was like, you know what? This is because, and this was a year later. This was 2021, like fall of 2021. And it was like, we could not find anything. Things were off the shelves. Things were gone. Now, the stores weren't out of food, which is the way some people took it. But when I'm showing empty shelves everywhere in the store, things that I could not buy, things that they did not have, it got me thinking. Ever since that day, we have been preparing. Well, I don't want that situation ever again. Now, we made the best of it as well as most of us did, right? And really, was it as bad as maybe I made it off to be? Probably not. There were a lot of people, though, that couldn't get things that they needed, things like distilled water and just other things, medicines. Feminine products was a big issue 2 years ago. We had lots of comments on women who could not get their hygiene products. I was looking all over the place for them. I couldn't find them. We ended up finding them some at Meijer, but I mean, they were so random. It was like just so many different things. That was a big one. But I mean, there were so many different things that we couldn't find. And it's like, that was a situation that was a year after the pandemic. Now, mind you, we were still sort of in it, I guess. But we start adding other things, some of these events that could be very bad. these conflicts that could, I, you know, things are a lot, the capabilities of people to do things these days are a lot more flick of a button than they were 50 years ago, like during the Cold War or something. It just seems like, technology has made it to where you don't have to do nothing. PlayStation controllers. I literally saw a video on the History Channel with the military using PlayStation controllers for weapons and stuff. I mean, it was like, wow. Like, I just could not believe it. Um, that takes Call of Duty up to a whole new level. Anyway, guys, I don't want to bore you any longer. I just wanted to get this message out here because I care about all of you, and I want to make sure that everybody that has this in the back of your mind. Don't fear. Don't be anything, fearful of any of that. Never give up the fight. That is what we do. We are proud of who we are and what we do, and let's be thankful that we do have these stores and supermarkets to be able to get food. And why we have that opportunity, and while we see these sales and deals and things like this, let's not hesitate. Let's take advantage of this while we can, because we never know when one of these events could happen. We never know if something could unravel to where hopefully we never have to dig in to our stockpile. Hopefully we can just keep rotating out our food and be happy with what we have, and just live, shop in our own pantries, right? So if nothing happens, great. Then you have all this stuff that you're able to cycle in and out of and be able to have a sustained amount of food for you and your family. And I try to not get too, I don't want to be too urgent sounding, but these things that are going on seem to be escalating quickly with everything going on. I hope this video comes across. I'm trying, I don't like to edit these coffee rants, and I'm really watching things that I say, if you can't tell. But thank you all for being part of all of this on the channel here, helping one another. We got a comment from someone up in Wisconsin, or not Wisconsin, but Minnesota, on different meat, and we begin in comments of some shortages of meat. Let's give that a little bit. I saw some shortages of meat at Kroger last week, but I didn't say anything about it. Sure enough, it was fully packed in today. So like I say, always give that second week. If it's not in next week, let us know again, and we'll start, adding that to the list of more shortages, because we are expecting beef shortages because of the prices. Prices have just skyrocketed on meat. We're seeing that on chicken. We're seeing it on pork now. All kinds of things. Someone, I don't know where you're from, but someone said there was a shortage of different pork items, which is crazy. That's like the first comment I've gotten on pork. I see pork everywhere. I mean, it's like falling off the shelves. There's so much around here. So I don't know. Again, prices going up on that. We're seeing prices go up on bacon as well, and some of these other items. Let's see. There was some produce. I'm getting comments every day on how bad produce is. I agree. I completely agree. We had a head of lettuce the other day, and I didn't mention this in the video. I won't say. Got it from Meijer. Okay, but the thing is that it's not Meijer. Okay, it's everywhere. Kroger's getting the same lettuce as Meijer is. Probably. But I mean, it wasn't that great. It's why we talk about, restaurants aren't even getting iceberg lettuce anymore. They're doing like all romaine and better lettuce for you anyway, better for you. But at the same time, it is costing more. We're seeing romaine lettuce start to go up in price again. We saw where Kroger just raised their prices of their 3 romaine heart things for $4.49. That's what it was a few months ago. It came down. Now it went back up because demand is more. They're running out of it quicker. We're getting more and more comments on rice. Another one from Dallas, Dallas, and then Arizona. Getting a lot of followers from Arizona lately. Few of you I know that have moved from California, and thank you for all of your reports on things. That's why I need to write this stuff down. I wasn't going to go too much into some of the different foods. They're all the ones that we've been talking about. Some oils too. I went over a lot of cooking oils the other day. We had a couple comments. Someone sent me an email of your Walmart where it was pretty much empty on cooking oil, like even regular cooking oils. I was like, well, that's kind of crazy. And it was a lot of it. But it didn't look like a refurbishment deal because things were kind of off placed or placed where they should be, but like it looked like it was getting bought up or just hasn't come in. So we're going to pay attention to all these things, guys. Let us know down in the comments if you see anything going on. If you see products that are flying off the shelves, still getting comments on canned mushrooms. We've been seeing them come back in where we are, so hopefully it's a thing where the price, I hate to say this, but the price is probably going to go up, but they'll probably come back in here eventually. Some Aldi products have been in short supply. Some people have been talking about the Happy Harvest canned goods. Like I said, I will be going to Aldi here as soon as I can, and we'll check out some of the products there. But guys, thank you all so much for listening to the Coffee Rant tonight. I know it's not the traditional straight information as I like to give, but I just kind of wanted to sit here and talk about some of these things. Some of the things that have been bothering me. Been getting a lot of comments asking if I would talk about some of these things. I won't mention certain things, but you kind of catch my drift on what we're talking about and why we need to prepare. We definitely need to prepare. We got to make sure that at least, I would say at minimum, you want to make sure that you just want to make sure you have a good amount of food to last you a little while. I won't say a date. Whether you have enough for a month, whether you have enough to get through winter. Just smart buy, no panic buying. Just when you go to the store, keep that in mind maybe a little bit. And if you don't, I mean, whatever. No judgment here on this channel at all, ever. I don't judge anybody. I get judged every day. That's okay though. But just be mindful of it. Be mindful of it. If that's not your thing, if you don't have the space, if you don't have the room, well, just keep in mind, with things going on, the potential of something happening. We don't want to say it will or won't, but at the same time, the possibility is there, and we need to be mindful of it. Guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Have a great night.